Hello, my name is Paulo Vitor Damo da Rosa. I'm going to open a Battle for Zendikar pack. Alright, not an expedition. First card, Blister Pod. I don't think this card is very good. I think most of the time it's very specific to the black-green archetype, and it's not even that good in that archetype, so I'm not looking forward to picking it early, and certainly not pick one. Volcanic Upheaval. You could theoretically sideboard this card against a deck with a lot of Awaken or with a bunch of splashes, but realistically, you're definitely not going to first pick it, and I have never even boarded it in. I've taken it a couple times thinking that I would, but I haven't. Turning Tactics. I think this card is mediocre. It's a nice combo trick. It's nice if you have things that trigger with life gain, like the black-white allies. But in most of my decks, I do not want to play this card, so also not taking it. The Skyline Cascade is a card that I started by thinking it was great, and then it's moved down and down in my estimations. I think I will play most of the time if I have other tap effects, such as Rush of Ice or Adverse Conditions, because then you can keep the creature tapped for one extra turn. But again, not a card that I'm willing to pick early, and a card that I don't even play in a lot of my blue decks. Eyeless Watcher. Again, also a very average card. It's going to be good if you're ramping into some very good Eldrazi's, or it's going to be good if you have the black-green-white tokens archetype with, Tajuru Warcaller. But most of the time, I also don't want this in my deck. Rush of Ice, I think it's a good card if you have a tempo deck, if you're attacking them. It's pretty mediocre in defense, but I like to draft blue aggressive this summer, so I like it a little bit more than most people. Also works with the Holimar Wave Caller, which brings it back in with the Skyline Cascade. Not an exciting first pick though, a card that I'm looking forward to getting to, picks, I don't know, 5, 6, 7. Silent Schemer, just a decent card if you have the Void synergies and if you're aggressive. You can play it in control decks too, but I don't like those decks very much, and I don't think it's that good there. It's a card that I'll play sometimes, sometimes I'll not play, so again, not really something I want to first pick. Mortuary Mire is a card that, much like Skyline Cascade, I thought was much better in the beginning, but then it's just gone down, down, and down. Most of my black decks do not end up not playing this card, though I think it's a fine sideboard card if you're in a very grindy matchup and you have some excellent creatures. But this card routinely goes 15th, so I don't think you have to pick it early. Natural Connections, I think it's good in most green decks. It's definitely good in the landfall deck because it's an instant speed way to trigger landfall. And it's good if you are splashing your color, which most green decks likely will, but it's just not first pick quality, even though I will probably play it in a high percentage of my green decks. Square Rider Elf is, I think, the very first good card that we have in this pack. It is 2 colors and likely more colors, so it's definitely a commitment to take it early as pack 1, but it's undeniably a powerful card. If you can play it for 2, it's good, for 3, it's good, for 4, it's great, for 5, it's excellent. So, and it's very good in all points of the curve, and if you can produce blue and green mana, it's going to be one of the best cards in your deck. Blighted Step is a land that I like quite a lot. You generally get in a lot of board styles, and this is definitely the effect you want if you're in a beat board that is somewhat racing. After you stabilize, they have a flyer, then you can use this to gain 10 life, and the flyer takes so much longer to kill, but not something I'm willing to first pick. Core Blade Whirl is a card that I'll happily play in all my white decks. It's better in allies than not, obviously, but it's still fine to play if you have 2, 3 other allies. It's not an exciting first pick though, and so if the pick was just that, I would just take the Sky Rider Elf so far. Wasteland Strangler is quite good. The body is decent, 3 mana, 3/2. It's nothing great, but it's fine. And the ability, if you can get it to work, is very, very good. This is such a low cost to play for a 2-for-1, because 3 mana, 3/2 is a real card already. So you're killing a guy in the process. So I think this is the best card here on power level, and I think it's a better pick than Sky Rider Elf because it's only 1 color. We also have a foil Quiverless Channeler, which I think is a decent card. You can play it in almost any deck. Most of my red and blue decks end up with a lot of 5-drops though. You have 4/4 Manus Ally, you have both blue 5 mana Awaken spells. So I tend to cut it somewhat in those colors, usually play it in green. But yeah, the pick really here boils out between those two, the Wasteland Strangler and the Sky Rider Elf. I think both are good cards, and I wouldn't be unhappy to first pick either, but I think in this format it's really much better to just keep your options open. And this is only, this is only 1 color of mana, this is 2 colors. You're going to play this, I don't know, half the time you first pick it, and you're going to end up playing this like 20 or 30% of the time you first pick it. So I think this is just a clear better pick.